Danny Ocean walks out of New Jersey State Prison after serving 4 years. Without wasting a single day, he heads straight to a casino in Atlantic City, where he runs into Frank, an old acquaintance. Frank asks if Danny has a new plan in mind, but Danny says he hasn't had time to think about one yet. He literally just got out. Meanwhile, Rusty Ryan is trying to teach a group of young card players how to gamble. Frustrated by their lack of focus, he steps outside for a drink. When he returns, the group tells him a new player has joined. That new player is Danny. Together, the two of them manipulate the inexperienced players into raising their bets over and over. By the end of the session, the pot has grown to over $10,000, and predictably, the rookies lose everything while Danny walks away with all the winnings. Afterward, Danny and Rusty catch up. Rusty admits he's been feeling bored lately, and Danny tells him he's working on something ambitious. A big job that will require a large crew, but with a payoff of 8 figures each. When Rusty asks for the target, Danny reveals his plan. Rob 3 Las Vegas casinos simultaneously. All 3 are owned by a man named Terry Benedict. The two arrive in Las Vegas and pitch the idea to Ruben, a wealthy casino mogul. At first, Ruben dismisses them completely, calling their plan insane. He reminds them that Vegas casinos are heavily guarded with enough armed personnel to occupy a small city, and he lists several past heist attempts, all of which ended in failure. Danny and Rusty are about to leave when they mention the target. The moment Ruben hears Terry Benedict's name, everything changes. He agrees to help, driven by a deep personal grudge. Benedict once forced him to sell his own casino. With Ruben on board, Danny and Rusty begin putting their team together. They recruit the Malloy brothers, a pair of skilled and eccentric drivers. Then Frank, who will serve as their inside man at the casino. Next is Livingston, a tech expert with experience in surveillance work for the FBI's mob squad. They approach Basher Tar, a demolitions expert. When they find him, Basher is in the middle of a botched crime with a different crew, one that forgot to disable the security alarm. Rusty shows up pretending to have the authority to take Basher into custody. Amused, Basher agrees to go along, remarking that it'll be nice to work with proper criminals again. He laughs as one of his own explosives detonates behind him. The team then travels to a circus to recruit the amazing Yen, a highly skilled acrobat whose physical agility makes him a perfect fit. Finally, Danny and Rusty visit Saul Bloom, an old friend and seasoned criminal. Saul initially declines, claiming he's retired and done with risky jobs. But as Rusty lays out the plan, Saul's curiosity gets the better of him and he agrees to join. With 10 people on board, Danny says the team is ready, then pauses and suggests they should add one more, just to be safe. He tracks down Linus Caldwell, a talented young pickpocket whose father Danny once worked with. Linus agrees, and the full crew gathers at Ruben's estate to hear the complete plan. Danny explains the goal: rob the vault containing the cash reserves for 3 of the most profitable casinos in Las Vegas, all owned by Terry Benedict. According to Nevada Gaming Commission regulations, casinos must keep enough cash on hand to cover every chip currently in play. On an average weekday, that's between $50 and $80 million. But on a major fight night, like the one happening in 2 weeks, the vault will hold at least $150 million. The team begins preparing. They study the casino security system in detail, observing the guards, learning their routes, and mapping all exits and escape paths. Basher develops a plan to cut the building's power, while the team works on accessing the surveillance system. They target a lonely casino technician. Danny steals his access card, allowing Livingston to tap into the security network. At the same time, the Malloy brothers stage a loud argument as a distraction. Giving Livingston the cover, he needs to sneak inside and plant wireless equipment that lets the crew monitor security cameras from a safe distance. Meanwhile, Saul prepares for his undercover role. He'll pose as Lyman Zerga, a wealthy foreign businessman staying at the casino. He commissions a custom suit made from imported silk and practices his new persona with great care. The crew begins observing Terry Benedict's daily routine. Benedict arrives at the casino every day at 2 p.m., meets with his staff, and entertains high-profile guests. The door codes inside the casino are changed each day, and Benedict receives the updated codes at exactly 7:30 p.m. before he leaves. While on surveillance duty, Rusty and Linus spot a strikingly beautiful woman leaving the casino. Rusty immediately recognizes her. She's Tess, Danny's ex-wife. Later, Rusty confronts Danny and asks whether this heist is about the money or personal revenge against the man who is now dating his ex-wife. Danny admits it's both. The next day, Tess and Benedict are seen inspecting a new painting for the casino's art collection. Later, Tess runs into Danny unexpectedly. She had assumed Benedict had arrived. Danny notices she's no longer wearing her wedding ring. Tess tells him she sold it and reminds him that he still owes her. When she mentions she's with Benedict now, Danny asks her one pointed question. Does Benedict make her laugh? Tess replies that he doesn't make her cry, unlike Danny. In the casino, Saul in his role as Zerga sits at a card table and requests a private meeting with Benedict. The casino staff briefs Benedict on Zerga's background, describing him as a prominent European arms dealer with significant influence. During their meeting, Zerga tells Benedict that a valuable black briefcase will be arriving at the casino soon, and that standard safes won't be sufficient to store it. It will need special security attention. This is all part of the plan, adding a new layer to the operation. That evening, Basher notices a power outage in the building and investigates. When the team reviews the plan and the amazing yen practices inside the vault area, Basher returns with bad news. An electrical team has discovered the weakness he planned to exploit to cut the casino's power, and they are already fixing it. The original plan to knock out the power is no longer possible. Basher suggests using a pinch, a device that creates an electromagnetic pulse to disable power. The team heads to the California Institute of Advanced Science to steal one, but during the escape, the amazing yen injures his hand. The next morning, Livingston reveals that Danny has been red flagged by casino security and is now being closely watched, all because of his interactions with Tess. Rusty makes a firm decision. Danny is out of the operation, or the plan is called off. Ruben objects, asking who will trigger the vault sequence. Rusty turns to Linus, who agrees to take over Danny's role. The next day, the plan is set in motion. Linus prepares for his new responsibilities, and Rusty informs Saul that it's his turn to act. Benedict meets with Zerga as the briefcase arrives at the casino. They walk across the floor together. Suddenly, someone in the crowd calls out Saul's real name, not Zerga, causing a commotion. Zerga immediately orders the Malloy brothers to escort him out. In a secure room, Benedict inspects the briefcase, finds nothing suspicious, and approves it for transfer to the vault, but he denies Zerga access to the vault itself. Meanwhile, the pinch device is installed, and the Malloy brothers dress as room service staff and head to Saul's room. They check in with the amazing yen to confirm he's ready. Benedict monitors the briefcase transfer while Linus approaches him, claiming to be from the Nevada Gaming Commission. Danny spots Tess and follows her, unaware that he is being followed himself. Rusty notes that the amazing yen now has exactly 30 minutes to complete his part of the heist. Linus distracts Benedict by making accusations against Frank, pulling Benedict off the casino floor. At the same time, the Malloy brothers create their own distraction, arguing loudly and fumbling with a lost keycard. The guards, annoyed, take the briefcase directly to the vault without realizing they've been played. Rusty gives the signal. Benedict expels Frank from the casino. Linus pretends to retrieve his pager, and Benedict dismisses him, allowing Linus to proceed unnoticed. Basher drives toward his position, announcing over the radio that he's almost there. Danny, meanwhile, is pretending to be under restraint inside a back room, casually asking the guards when Benedict is expected to arrive. An unfamiliar man enters. The guards step out, and the man introduces himself as Bruiser. Without warning, he punches Danny. Danny, irritated, tells him to hold off on the staged beatings until they're actually needed. Bruiser apologizes. At the vault, the guards deliver Zerga's mysterious black briefcase. Watching through the surveillance feed, Livingston quietly mutters, "Oh," as everything unfolds. Nearby, Zerga begins to fake a medical emergency. The security team's attention shifts to him, giving Livingston the perfect window to switch the live camera feeds to pre-recorded footage, masking the heist in real time. Benedict, completely unaware of what is happening behind the scenes, settles in with Tess to watch the high-profile boxing match. Linus climbs into position and is surprised to find Danny already there. Relieved to see each other, the two quickly regroup and get to work. Rusty arrives disguised as the doctor attending to the collapsed Zerga. He examines him briefly before announcing, "We've lost him." The crew prepares and activates the pinch. It works almost too well. It doesn't just cut power to the casino, it plunges most of Las Vegas into darkness. In the chaos, Danny and Linus descend toward the vault, but quickly realize their wires are too short. They cut them just as the power flickers back on. The sudden reactivation causes pandemonium across the casino and the boxing arena, keeping security fully occupied. The amazing Yen, with perfect balance and precision, catches the briefcase just before it can fall. Danny and Linus deploy a gas device that incapacitates the vault guards, clearing the way. Yen slips inside and executes a nimble leap to get past the vault's laser security system. A slight misstep nearly triggers an alarm when his bandage snags on a sensor. He struggles to free himself while Danny and Linus prepare the explosives for the vault door. A brief miscommunication threatens to derail the plan, but Yen escapes at the last second. The charges detonate. The vault door bursts open in a controlled explosion, revealing stacks of cash inside. The team springs into action, loading the money into bags. Watching through the camera feed, Saul grins and quips with excitement. At the boxing match, a phone rings unexpectedly in Tess's pocket. Benedict answers it and hears Rusty's calm voice on the other end, taking credit for the unfolding heist. Suspicious, Benedict checks the security monitors but finds nothing unusual. Rusty cryptically tells him to keep watching. Tess starts to piece things together, realizing Danny must have planted the phone on her. Benedict dismisses her and focuses back on Rusty. Rusty lays out an ultimatum. Benedict can quietly let them take half of the $160 million or risk losing everything in a catastrophic explosion, along with the public embarrassment that would follow. Reluctantly, Benedict agrees. He watches as 6 bags of cash are loaded into a white van parked outside the casino. But in an attempt to outsmart the crew, Benedict quietly calls 911 and summons a SWAT team to intercept the van. The SWAT team storms the vault, reporting a dramatic shootout. When the lights come back on, the guards are unharmed, but the money appears destroyed. Furious, Benedict orders the van tracked to a nearby airfield. It's completely empty. Slowly, Benedict realizes he's been completely outplayed. The security footage was pre-recorded. During the blackout, the vault itself had been ingeniously swapped. Livingston had intercepted Benedict's 911 call and rerouted it to the crew, who then arrived disguised as the SWAT unit. While Benedict and his security team watched fake footage of the vault, the real team entered unnoticed, retrieved all the money, and walked out without leaving a trace. Benedict confronts Danny, who is still pretending to endure Bruiser's staged beatings. Suspicious, Benedict asks directly whether Danny had anything to do with the heist. Danny feigns complete ignorance. After a moment, Benedict reluctantly lets him go. In a hotel room, Tess receives a call instructing her to watch Channel 8. She sees a live broadcast of Benedict approaching Danny outside, once again asking whether he stole the money. Danny fires back with a provocative question. Would Benedict give up Tess in exchange for recovering his fortune? Without hesitation, Benedict says yes. Shortly after, Benedict meets Tess. She delivers a cutting remark. "In your hotel, there's always someone watching," and walks out, making clear where her loyalty lies. As Tess steps outside, she spots Danny being escorted by police. She runs to him, declaring him as her husband. Danny reassures her. He won't be gone long, 6 months at most. Meanwhile, the crew safely hides the SWAT van. Later, they all gather at the iconic Bellagio fountain to celebrate their success. After a moment of triumph together, each of them goes their separate way. Months later, Rusty picks Danny up from prison again. As they walk to the car, Danny jokes about how bad it looks. Rusty should drive something better, considering he's worth $13 million. Danny climbs into the back seat, where Tess is waiting. Overjoyed, he notices she's wearing her wedding ring again. From a distance, 2 familiar faces watch the trio and begin to follow them, hinting at more to come.